Hello, and welcome to a book launch interview with Jesse and Lisa. I am so excited that we are here today to talk about your book of How You Leave Them Feeling. Now, there's two of you, so I want to be able to bounce back and forth between the two of you, but I would love whoever would like to start first, just share a little bit about who you are, and then we'll start to kind of unpack a little bit about your book and your process.
Well, since Lisa's the rising star, I will allow her to go first, or she could dictate that I go first. It's up to her.
Lisa, go
Okay.
for it.
Yes, I'm Lisa Ferrell. I am a mother of three children, two grandchildren, and have been in the coaching industry since 2006. Joined forces with Jesse and our company in 2012. Master coach, author, VP of marketing and sales, and whatever other hat needs to be worn for that day. You know, when you're in business for yourself, you have several things that you need to take care of, and Jesse and I share that hat well.
Yeah, she joined forces and started telling me what to do.
Hey, at least you have someone telling you what to do. I think that's actually a blessing in business sometimes.
I knew you. I know you know how to play the middle. That's okay. We'll see.
I do. I'm good in the middle. And Jesse,
I like to talk more about what we do for others. And if you don't like that, flip the question back, and I'll do it again by proper protocol. So what we do for others is we like to help free others from their concerns. And we do that from a space called Just Talk Speaking Services, or Just Talk Speaking Coaching Firm with Lisa Listen as a connection to that. And we keep it very simple. We either do it from the stage. We have three major pillars. The pillar in the middle is my favorite pillar, but I'll do whatever is called for me to do. But that pillar is professional speaking, one to many. We want to help as many people as possible. So when you speak into an audience of 50 or 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, if you have an impact on that audience, you're helping a lot more people. But that's fine. So that could be a keynote, a workshop, something like that from the stage. Or the pillar on the right, that is our composite coaching pillar, personal professional development coaching. Those are typically one-to-one. Sometimes it's one-to-few. It might be group coaching, but more often it's one-to-one coaching. So it's still a great way to help, but you're helping more people than you know, because when you help those leaders grow and evolve and develop, you're helping their teams that you may never meet. So you're still helping many, even though it feels like one-to-one.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And then the third pillar on the left is a digital asset pillar. That's where we decided to go. And we looked at over 45,000 hours, coaching hours, from the records of the coaching, what happened in those sessions. We wanted to determine what do leaders typically come to us for? What do they want? So we picked out every single thing that they come to us for, and we designed a digital offering to give them that, where they can do it with us or without us, either way. It's called the Breakthrough Success Plan. So that's really how what we do serves others. And we like to consider ourselves, Jen, ambitious. Have you ever heard of that term, ambitious?
Surprisingly, no. So tell me more.
Humble and ambitious.
Oh, I like that.
Ambitious.
That should be a more commonly used word.
Right.
There's a way to have both.
You can go ahead and steal that.
I'll give you credit, I promise. So clearly, in the vein of what you were just saying in terms of how you're serving people, it makes logical sense that a book, or in your case, books, plural, would be a great kind of leveraging tool to be able to reach and impact more people. So can we just kind of talk about just high level the books that you currently have, and even if you want to just sprinkle some ideas of what's to come as well, and
Fair
then
enough.
we'll kind of dive into this one specific book.
I like it. Fair enough. So what we have is the How You Leave Them Feeling, and we call it the How You Leave Them Feeling universe. Most people might call it a series. But when you see a series of a book of the similar nature, they think you have to read the first book to be able to read the second book. And if you haven't read the second book, the third book doesn't make sense. So we're calling it our How You Leave Them Feeling universe. We actually got that name from our son-in-law, Devin Hayden. He was the one that created the name. We go, hey, that's pretty cool. Let's go with that. So the first book that was written and published back in 2005 is called How You Leave Them Feeling. It's for personal professional development. That was book number one. Book number two, we teamed up with PYP. You ever heard of PYP?
I have.
Purpose?
Really.
Yeah, it's a publishing company. So we teamed up with them to create book number two. And book number two is the second edition of How You Leave Them Feeling for personal and professional development. So that's the second edition that was published last year. Then the third one, Lisa and I teamed up, and Lisa I'll pass the baton to Lisa to tell the why. But the third book is How You Leave Them Feeling, Your Foundation for Inspiring Love and Relationships. That's book number 3 in the How You Leave Them Feeling series. Then book number 4, once we get this third book on the road and kicking butt and really doing what we believe it has the capability and possibilities of doing, then I'll start writing How You Leave Them Feeling in Living Color. Subtitle in Living Color. So basically, how to teach people to stop drawing lines in the sand because someone is tall or dark or brown or Spanish or black or white or gay or whatever. Stop drawing lines in the sands and live your life in full living color.
So good. So good. So I want to ask you kind of the order of these things, right? So we have personal, professional development, we have love and relationships, we have in living color. So there's clearly to you an arc of how this has occurred. So you started off with the personal and professional, and then moved to love and relationships. What was the, like, in your kind of your coaching practice and your conversations and in the day-to-day of what you're doing, what was it about the love and relationships that you felt like needed to be kind of the second one that came out in this larger universe?
We saw so many people and so many relationships breaking down and failing just because they weren't doing the basics and the fundamentals at all. When you watch Michael Jordan, in the old days, and he could do the 360s and the slam dunks, and do you think the 360s and the slam dunks won basketball games and championships?
That was all show. He had the
Yes.
skill already.
Yes, it was the fundamentals. When they go to practice, they don't practice 360 slam dunks.
Yeah.
They practice dribbling. They practice running. They practice backing up. They practice defense. They practice offense. They practice the fundamentals, and that's what people were missing that we believed. And I'll toss the ball to Lisa because during the COVID period is when the idea hit. This isn't a COVID book. This is a book beyond that. So tell them the conversation that we had when we said, okay, wait a minute, maybe, and because people keep telling us stuff about our relationship, maybe we need to give up some of those secrets.
Yeah, so COVID hits, the world stops. People that are going into an office are no longer going into an office. And I think couples were used to having their time away from each other, and some embraced it and others it repelled. I think the divorce rate was kicked into high gear because it was just too much stress and anxiety and they didn't know how to deal with it. And we said together, we have some systems, tools, and processes that could really help the world right now. So that's what inspired us to write it. But again, we were just yesterday having a coffee conversation with a dear friend, and one of the last questions he said is, how do you guys do it? I aspire to be a couple that loves, lives, works, plays, and stays together.
And this guy's a major player. He's awesome. And he was having challenges, right?
Yeah. So he was, we left him a couple of little juicy nuggets at the end. So he's like, I can't go home. I can't wait to go home and read this book. And, it got a little bit of a slow start. It took us a little longer than we wanted, but the end product, I think we're up to 20 reviews, a 5-star, mind you, on Amazon right now. And reading those reviews is so gratifying and fulfilling to see the work and the effort put in is paying off.
And the hard copy just launched just a couple weeks ago.
January 11th.
Yeah. So, we see it as hardships. Everyone has hardships in their life. A lot of people don't know what to do with hardships or challenges that break down. We say that hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary things.
I love that.
Hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary things. And one of the offerings we'll give to the people watching right now is this. Something when we came together as a couple, that was great. And then when we came together to start to live together, get married and all that sort of stuff, I thought to myself, we need to do something that's different, that's already been done in the past, because a lot of times we follow the same cycles in relationships. We bring the same stuff from the past and all the other relationships. No, we're going to do it differently. So we created what we call house rules, and we write about it in the book. This was a gift. This gift it was an inspiration that came down, and the gift is, how does Lisa want to live in this home without? If I wasn't living here, how would she live? If I weren't here and she wasn't here, how would I live? So we came up with this program called House Rules, where each of us get up to 3 rules, and each of you have to have at least one. You can't say I don't have it. No. You have to choose at least one. So I'll pass it to Lisa, and she'll talk about house rules. You can also call it agreement, because some people don't like rules. It is an agreement, is what it is. We like the word rules, but agreement, rules, synonymous in this case. So you want to share one of your house rules so they get into sense of what that's like?
Yeah, I don't like to be messed with first thing in the morning. I like to unwind like a flower bud. So that's running a bath and just contemplating and putting the intentions for the day and meditating and just coming around for the first hour. I don't like somebody in my face, hey, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. To me, that I just need peace to get started. So that's one thing that I said, just honor that and it'll be good to go. And he has now.
Well, like she says she doesn't like to be messed with. The person that's talking to her doesn't realize they're messing with her. They're just talking.
Yeah.
But for her, the way her disposition is, she wants to welcome herself into the world in her pace, not someone else's pace.
Makes sense.
So what looks like messed with by one person seems like I'm seeking to help us out by dialoguing. So we don't have any meaningful conversation until after that period of time. It's usually 45 minutes to an hour. Then she's open for game for whatever. But in that time period, we don't talk about professional matters. We don't talk about the book. We don't talk about anything of significance. Common pleasantry is it. Simple. That's a house rule. I wouldn't have known that if we didn't have house rules. I would have never known that, because Lisa is more. She's not going to tell you that. You've got to discover it, if that makes sense.
It does. It also feels like just a ticking time bomb if you're not communicating and having that conversation. So
absolutely, that's exactly right.
This is why, I feel like, to your point, that this discovery kind of emerged over COVID, right? Because of all the things that you were saying before. But then also there's all of the opportunity post-COVID now, where people, now they're single, more people on the market trying to figure out what to do. And I think this just provides a better foundation for people to go into the next relationship in a healthier way as a couple.
Exactly.
And you bring up a good point, because it isn't just for people that are married. It's for singles. It's for anyone that is in any relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's personal. It can help anyone in that situation. One more tip that I'll say, I met with another friend the day before that had read the book, and she said, I buy books. I have books on my nightstand. I have stacks of books. Your book, I couldn't put down. In fact, I was reading it while I was on the job because I couldn't put it down. She said, this book did more for my husband and I, our relationship, through 10 years of therapy or counseling than this one book did for our life after reading it.
It's amazing.
It gave us goosebumps when she said that. By the way, she's a tough girl. She's not an easy, whimsical, she's intelligent. She's been around a while. She's got great experience. She's mindful. She would have been the last person on the earth I would have expected that kind of a large value gain from one read.
Yeah.
And she's going back and reading it again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what I think, obviously, I'm in the business of publishing and promoting books, right? But what I hear in what you're saying is that there are people who do couples therapy for endless amounts of time. And of course they see progress, but it might just be like little bits of progress. But, a therapist is like $150 an hour, usually minimum. And so a couple could go out and purchase your book at, between 20 and 30 bucks.
That's right.
What format it is, and kind of read it together, share that experience together. And to the point you just made, get maybe more impact than having gone to however many sessions with a couples counselor.
Unbelievable. Well said. We want this book is to help others learn to create and sustain powerful, sustainable relationships. Come on. That's what it's about, right?
Sustainability is the key. And what's interesting is that when we had lunch together, I don't even know what month it was, sometime over the summer, sometime over the summer, I remember you talking about GQs, which PYP now uses, for the record. And so does my partner. So we use the GQs to keep track of personal things, to-do lists, things like that. But my takeaway was the two of you talking about putting just keeping a list. And so for anyone watching, GQs is it's kind of like a to-do list, task organizer type of tool.
You can't see it, but it's on the phone, and
Yep.
it's on the phone, and then it'll track on our iPad, it'll track on our laptops, or wherever we're at. It updates and all that kind of stuff.
Just
And
keep track.
that was in a casual conversation with
It
your
was.
partner, and
It
your
was.
partner. Let me just say this to you: your partner was cool before that conversation, but after that conversation, I couldn't get her off me. She didn't want to let go.
No, she was hooked. She was hooked on this whole and now we all use it.
Nice.
But I think the beautiful thing, though, is that you were talking about how and I don't know how you phrase it, this is my paraphrasing of it, of just kind of adding things to that queue, that list together to make sure that you discuss before you go to bed at night, or so that way there's nothing left unsaid. And I feel like that alone just kind of busts the doors open for proper and healthy communications in a relationship.
Absolutely.
It's huge, Jen. Yeah. What in that particular queue, we named that partners talk.
Mhm.
It's called Partners Talk. So anything I want to share something with her, I drop it in Partners Talks. She can drop it in there, and we share the queue so we can both see it.
Yep.
Which cuts down on the email,
Yeah, and so on that GQs, we have my action task, which is from miscellaneous from A to Z, and then we have a queue with just special events, so she can see it. If she adds a special event, or if I add a special, we don't have to talk about it. She just go into the queue and see it.
Yeah.
And it's on all of our devices. And what it does, even our grocery list. I don't have to say, what do you want from the store? Just look at the queue. It's in there. If we need something, put it in the grocery list queue. That's it.
That's as simple as that. But it's just such a small tip.
Yeah.
That is like a drop in the bucket in terms of the content that's actually in this book. But just that one tip of streamlining your communication in a way to just be more, to elevate the conversation. So that way you're not in the weeds of what's on the to-do list or on the grocery list and then arguing with each other because someone forgot to get the damn milk.
Exactly. And that happens all the time. And when they keep doing the same thing, you get more and more mad and more angry. Well, we don't do any of that stuff. And when we're talking to your partner, we're talking about the cool thing about this is we believe that the truth is learned, not told. And it's learned through experiences. We were having an experience with your partner. And in that experience, she thought, oh my God, that was amazing. I said, it's such a relief to be able to communicate with one another. We can still do verbal, normal communication, but this just makes it stick like glue, and very little to nothing ever gets missed.
Yeah, it's just magical. And I love that, the book is Love and Relationships.
Yes.
And it is February 1st, which is not a coincidence that we're talking about this and launching, in the last month and into February, the month of love and all, with Valentine's Day coming up, to just kind of illustrate and demonstrate healthy relationships for people who are, again, whatever status they might be in. But there is also the relationship and broad component to it as well, which Lisa, you kind of started to bring up when you were talking about that conversation that you were recently having, that it's not just love. What the concepts in here apply to really all relationships, not just romantic relationships.
We want to bring the world of experience and experiences to others. Because we believe what this experience is, we believe when you tap into or when you crack into experience, the world pops open.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that. And that's what, even going back to that conversation, that was that experience that made your partner go, holy smoke, this could be amazing for so much and so many. And so, yeah, we believe when you tap into a shared experience, Gloria Steinem said it best, that the world cracks open when you do that. Mm-hmm. This right here is a shared experience. When people watch or listen to this, this is a shared experience. We want people to feel like they're in this conversation with us.
Absolutely.
We're talking with them, not to them.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because it needs to be conversation, and especially given the topic of your book, right? Like it's all about, just elevating and amplifying the experiences of other people in whatever way that is. The format we're talking about just happens to be through books.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. They can get it from the audiobook. They can do it from an ebook. They can do it from a hardcover book. There's different variations of this available. Like you said, they can get it for as little as $10 or less, depending on what Amazon decides to sell it for on the ebook, and all the way up to, say, $39 for strong, solid-looking hard copy or whatever. So yeah, but the whole thing is, it's about helping people with hardships and challenges and difficulties and simplifying the process. We believe in this thing called Occam's razor. Occam's razor, we talk about also in the book, from a 13th century theologian. Basically, if we break it down the commentary, the simplest solution is typically the best. Mm-hmm. Let's don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That I feel like that has been, well, actually, streamlining and simplicity are my words for 2023 because it's exactly right. Like when we overcomplicate things, it just, there's no need, there's no reason.
And almost no one wins when you do that. We also want to know that we want you and others to know that we want to dedicate a significant portion of our book earnings to
Mhm.
two causes. My choice of cause to dedicate is in the space of education. Lisa's choice is in the space of children. So we want How You Lead Them Feeling, your foundation for inspiring love and relationships, to serve the world beyond serving us. So is you okay with Lisa sharing a little bit about why she chose?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
Because they're near and dear to my heart. And if you can reach a child and make a difference in a child's life and give them the confidence and the self-esteem and make the difference and let them learn themselves so that they understand what makes them tick.
Mhm.
Imagine if you could break down all those barriers and create a much more whole, confident person rising through the middle school, which they have fear of image, and high school and college, and breaking through all those barriers to be a more solid, connected person.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the world and what it would be, what it will be when this happens.
She's spot on, Jen. Do you mind if I tag team on with her with this to bring the two together?
Oh, please.
Point, and I love children as well, but get this, to her point about what we can do to touch children for the reasons that she just stated. Let's go back to my fourth grade teacher in Hawthorne, Nevada, Sandy Essenprice. Sandy Essenprice was my first favorite teacher. I only had two overall, but Sandy was my very first, and Donna Ludwig Peterson was the second. She was my art teacher. And fast forward 30 years after the fourth grade, I asked Sandy, what was it about me that you said, did you admire me? How can a fourth grade teacher admire me? I'm a kid. She says, because the only kid that I ever taught before you or no one's come after you that would get a 98 on the test and stay after class to figure out why and how you missed the one question.
Yeah.
She says, nobody else ever did that. And I thought, holy smoke. She said, that's how I knew you were going to be amazing in the world, because of that. And that's why I wanted to stay close to you. She was one of the first persons to buy our book, and she was one of the first persons to put a rating and review on Amazon. Sandy Essenprice, my fourth grade teacher, at age 82, and I'm sitting here at 62, and we're still in love.
That is amazing. That I think is such a testament to just the power of communication, right? Like there's so much about this. Oh my God, I love that. I love the first at 82 because, and that also for any other authors watching this or readers who are like, oh, I don't know how to leave a review. It's not that complicated. If the 82-year-old retired teacher can figure it out, so can you.
Come on. And it was very powerful. I almost wish I had it up, but I'm not going to. I know in the sake of time, but that's okay. They can go look at it on Amazon. Just look for she put her real name, Sandra.
Love it.
We go by Sandy Essenprice.
That's so, oh my God, I love that. And to me, this is just the beginning, right? You know, you were just saying that you have 20-ish 5-star reviews already. The book just came out like 3 weeks ago. We are now entering February where everyone's thinking like all the retail stores have hearts and all kinds of commercial things thrown at you in all directions. This book is, I think, a much better gift to give to a partner or to someone, someone in your life, rather than buying some box of chocolates that are going to be thrown away.
Buy the book for the whole family. Buy one for the whole family. Buy one for each family member. Say they don't have to read the whole book. Tell them to get together. Tell them to choose a chapter that they think resonates. Just read one chapter, get together and share what they gained from that chapter with one another. This could be amazing. What we want to do, Jen, we do it in our business. We do it with one another. We do it with our family members. We want to help free others from their concerns, because they say you should be kind to everybody that you meet. Everybody's battling something.
It's absolutely true. No, true.
This book can help that. This book can help in so many ways. It's just incredible.
I love this. So obviously you can help in many other ways as well. So while we're kind of like wrapping up here, the book is a very natural, easy to access for people to go do, right? Go buy it on Amazon. I'm a big fan of bookshop.org, which is the link that is below this video for anyone watching on social media. Bookshop is an independent, it's an online independent retailer that gives back to independent bookstores. So they have a huge kind of social cause and mission of what they do. So that would be my first preference. But, everyone could just click one button on Amazon and buy it there too. But how else can people engage with you potentially?
Really simple. JessTalk.com. JessTalk.com. They can go there, and we're happy for them to hire us for our speaking engagements. We're happy for them to hire us for personal or professional development on our coaching side. We're happy to take the money. We will take the money so that we can serve others with the taking of the money.
Correct. And give back.
We want to serve ourselves.
They can also, we're doing a 12-city book tour, and the first will start February 9th here in Las Vegas. So anyone in Las Vegas or anywhere that's watching this that wants to come experience us live, we will be doing, if you're open to it, little mini laser coaching sessions to help you have a breakthrough right there and then on the spot. And then following that, 2 weeks later in Hawthorne, Nevada, where Jesse is from. And then Kanab, Utah for a women's conference, March 11th. And in Salt Lake City, Utah, April 27th. So those are the next 4 legs of our tour. If you want to follow us and come get a little bit of this energy that we create together.
It's called magic. It's called magic.
We would love to share it with you.
And it's on our homepage as well. They can see that. And we also would love if they when they pick up this book and they read it, refer it to at least 10 other people that you believe could be served and helped by this book. We want to get those numbers up in terms of how we are serving the world by count.
Well, and to just put a punctuation mark on that, my personal goal to Jesse was that we would sell 10,000 books. And he talked to one of his friends that said, well, I'm going to tell you that you're thinking too small, and let's 10x that and go with 100,000. So then I'm like, okay, there's corporations that have 50,000 employees. Yes, we can go to, get a handshake. So my thing is to ask every day, who do you know that you can get us in front of that can help us satisfy this dream? Because once we make the $4 million, we will take 10% of that, give it to Jesse.
As a minimum.
To give it to Jesse's favorite nonprofit in education and mine in children.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I love it so much.
So thanks to Troy Evans, he's helping Lisa, even though I started the company, continue to tell me what to do.
Hey, again, someone needs to tell us entrepreneurs what to do every now and then. If we're left to our own devices, it can get a little tricky some days.
Well said. Well said.
Amazing. All right. So I will talk to the two of you very soon. For those watching, I will be back for another interview at some point in the near future. Everyone can go to JessTalk.com to see all the touring dates where you can find Jesse and Lisa. And I just appreciate you so much. I love what you're up to in the world.
And you know what, Jen, thank you for your commitment at PYP for always raising your game or raising the game of your team members to help serve us better, to publish in a way that's meaningful and powerful. We have a lot of respect for you and your team, and we want you to continue working with us the way you do so that we can continue the strand of roughly 12 to 15 more in the How You Lead and Feeling universe with your support.
I love that, because you're such a good, just a true definition of why I started PYP and why we do the work we do, because your mission to actually impact people are the types of authors that's who we want to be serving, not just somebody who is out trying to be a New York Times bestseller and doesn't care about the impact. There's plenty of other publishers they can go to. I want to say like you, we need to just amplify what you're doing, because I think this is a brilliant and amazing.
Absolutely.
As they would say in your neighborhood, plug it in, light it up.
I love it. All right. Thank you both so much. I will talk to you both very soon.